Welcome devs to the last video of this challenge. Today I'll be doing the footer. So there is the footer. As you can see, we have made some progress. This is progress that we have made. Now we are going for the footer. So I will just need to find out the structure of the footer in HTML code. I'm going firstly to have a div which I'm going to use for this content here alone. Then I'm going to put a nav which I'm going to use for this content, and lastly I might need this content. I'm going to put it on its own, this from about us to private policy, and lastly I'm going to have this button. Hope you can see it clearly from the design. There's a last button there. So without wasting time, guys, let's get on to the challenge. So here in my file, in my design file, you can see I was trying to identify the last section. This is the button that I will need. Yes, you can now see it. So on our design, there is the button. So let's get on to the challenge. First of all, I'm going to need to create a section. I'll not call it a section, I'll call it a footer instead. Let me use the word footer. Then I'm now going to create 3 divisions inside the footer. Div dot, I'll give the first one, I'll call it let me call it footer. Let's go logo social. Now the next one, I'm going to call it a nav. On the name that is appropriate that I would give on this case, I'll call it a footer nav. And the last one, we shall contain the button. Div dot, let me give it a name, footer. And let's go cut copyright. So there it is. I'm just going to drag all the content appropriately into its divisions. This will be my navs. This will go onto the nav side. Let me just paste it there. Then lastly, this content will go this div section. From our design, you can see that the first div will contain all images, as you can see. Now let me get onto the page. We need to import the first image. Let's give it images slash. Let's find from our design. From our design, do we have it? It's an Easybank. It's a logo. It should be a logo. Okay, it's a logo. Yeah, let's take this one. Let's rename it. Control A and Control C. I've copied it. Control A. And let's give it a class name. This is very important. I'll call it footer underscore logo. Now for my design, I can see that I'm going to have 4 images. These are socials, so I need to create in an ordered list. Dot socials. Yeah. Now I'm going to put some li for listing, and as well as importantly, I need a class name. So let me give it footer. Social. Let me remove this last s so that there is some similarity. Footer social icon, and then let me have let me use hyperlinks. Hyperlinks. I'm not going to have class names for today. I will not give them class names. The hyperlinks, as well as lastly an image. Now let's save our images slash. First one I'm going to have is a Facebook. Just collect the names. So I have it. So now I'm going to duplicate it 5. Just going to duplicate it. By the design I've got 5, so I'm going to duplicate it to make sure that we have got 5 copies. And this is the last one. So now let me go on styling my nav. On the nav, I'm also going to have an ordered list, since we have got these 2. So I'm going to have in an ordered list. Let me give it a class name, footer nav list. Footer and nav lists item. I'm going to use some hyperlinks. As well as lastly an image. And we're not going to have image, we're going to have context. So let me just duplicate this. I need to count the number 6 times. I'm going to duplicate it 6 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's drag our content. Just have to drag. Let's move unnecessary spacing. Move the unnecessary spacing. Now, lastly, we're going to create a pattern here. dot. Okay, yes, a button dot. I need a class name. I'm going to use the class name that I used initially for right at the top there when I was doing the header, so that this the styling will be the same. And let me add another second name to differentiate it, so that next, yes, so there it is. Just need to drag our button. Now lastly, we have a paragraph. With the class name copyright, and just drag the information there. Let's take a look at the new design. Just save all the settings that we have created, and we reload the page. Oh yes, there it is, guys. Now what is important is the next stage is that I now need to do styling. Okay, for our images, we are supposed to have images there. Let me find out why the images are not coming out. Okay, the first one is for icon Facebook. There it is. The next one, I'm going to have an icon for YouTube. Okay, I can just type. Let me just type the YouTube. Then the next one, I'm going to have Twitter. Then the next one, I'm going to have Pinterest. Just mind the spelling so that you make sure that what you are spelling is correct. Pinterest. Yes. Then the next one is for Instagram. Just make sure that the spelling are correct, otherwise your image might not come out. Okay, so let's take a look at the design. Okay, they are not visible enough. Maybe we have to check on the on our CSS styling when you're styling, because from the design, let's check, they are all white in color, so they are not being visible because the background is just similar to the design. So now let me go on to my styling. I'll start with the styling for the mobile view. Oh, there it is. There we start. Okay, before I do that, I need to collect the class names. Let me collect the class names. Just click on the drag, just click on the control and use your mouse to highlight your class names. Okay, let me copy these ones. Okay, then we go here, click again on your keyboard the control button, and just use your mouse to copy the class names. I like this, in that way it avoids any typing errors. Okay, now we want to put in some missing brackets for all this. Now what is left is just to drag just to tidy my code. Okay, there it is. So I'll start off by setting the footer. Let's start by setting the padding. I want a padding of 10% on top and bottom, and 0 to left and right. I want to display in a flexi direction. I want to set it to column and flexi flow, no wrap. Justify the content, space evenly, and align our items to the center. Background color, I want it to be dark blue. Let's get it from our style guide. And then the color of everything, that is the text and contents, will be white. Let's take a look at okay, let's save. Footer is not supposed to have a okay, let's redo. Yes, now I'm going to start the footer log structures. I want the width to be 50%. Display, flexi direction, I want a column. Remember, this is for the mobile view. Flexi wrap, flexi flow. Let me set the flexi flow to no wrap. and as well I want the aligned items to the center. Let me justify the content also to the center. Let's take a look at the progress. Yes. Now let me start the logo. Remember, the logo is our image. Okay, let me take a look at the image. Yeah, it's appearing okay. Let me leave it like that. Let's continue styling. Now let us style the socials. Next, margin. I want to set the margin to 15%, 0 and 5. Width, I want to give it 100% to cover everything. And display flexway. Okay, just like as you are now aware, we would talk about flex direction, which is very important, since after displaying in the flex way, you also want it to use the flex direction properties and flexi flow, no rep. Justify the content, space around. Align items to the center. Remember, we have used some hyperlinks, so I might need to remove this any styling. None. Let's take a look at. Yes, there it is. Next, I'm going to start the footer nav list. Okay. Let me start off by the minimum height. I will set it to 235 pixels. Display flex. And flexi direction. Column. Flexi flow. No rep. Justify the content. I want to justify the content by using space. Yeah, evenly is better. Align our items to the center and remove all styling by setting it to none. Let's take a look at our direction. Yes, it's taking shape. Nextly, I'm going to style the nav link, footer nav list link, by setting the font weight. I'm gonna set it to 300. Let me also look at the font size, 0.8 frames. And text decoration, just remove any styling, set it to none. And color, let's set it to white. Let me also style the footer. let me set display to flexi direction column, flexi flow to no rep, and justify the content space evenly. Align items to the center. Let's take a look at everything. Yes, according to our design, we want this to be separated for large screens as well as to go underneath. So let me go on for large screens. At 429 pixels, yes. Okay, let me take a look at the design. Okay, at 429 pixels, I'm going to increase the okay, this one is not supposed to be there, it's supposed to be here. Let's take a look at it. Yes, so 429 pixels. Let me style the footer with the copyright. Now let me just list and not this one, not this footer. Footer nav list item. Yeah, this one is good. Let me increase the font size by 1 rem. Let's take a look at the design. Okay. Let's see our styling for large screens. What will be the output? Let me start by putting the okay, like this you're missing here. Let's take a look. Okay, let's start by styling the footer. Let's set the padding to 1% and 5%. Height to 200 pixels. Width to 100%. Position relative. Flexi flow. I want a row of no rep. and justify the content. Flexi start. Align our items to the center. Let's save and let's look at the progress. Okay, let me just check if the let's set the background color. This is for verification to red. Yes, so it is applied successfully. Now let me style the footer for the logo social. I want to set the width with a clamp. How much am I going to use? Let me start by 250 pixels, 10%, 250 pixels. Let me set a height of 50%. Justify the content, space between. Align items using Flexi Start. Okay, let's take a look at. Yes. It's taking shape. So let me go on to the next one. I'm going to style is for the footer for the socials. Footer for the social. Justify the content, space between. Let's take a look. Okay, yes. The next one we are going to use for footer for the nav. Margin to the left. Margin to the left, I want 10%. Height, I want 60%. And I also want to clamp it with clamp this way. 450 pixels and 30% and 500 pixels. Let's take a look at the new changes that we have applied. Okay. I might have done something wrong. Okay, I'll address it lastly, but let me style the footer. Now please. Let's set the minimum height to 100 pixels and my height to 100%. Width, let's give it 100%. Display flex. Flexi flow, column, wrap, let me align my items with the flexi start, and let's take a look at our progress. Yes, taking shape. What we want is taking shape. Now let me style the footer. Now list item. I'll set the margin to 2% and 0. Footer dot footer and nav lists. I want to target this one. Copy it. Let me set text align to the left. Also want to make sure that every time when we hover, copy it. On hover, we want the color of the text to change to lime green. Do I have lime green? Yes, I've got it. Copy it. Paste it there. Now let me lastly start the copyright. Footer dot footer. Let me collect it there if it's not this one. Let's style it. Align items. Let's give them a flexi end. Position relative. I want to move it to the right, minus 20%. Now let's take a look at the new changes. Oh yes, these are the changes. So lastly, let me fix this one because I want this text to be underneath the logo. Okay, we now want to find out why our social icons are not underneath the logo. Let's go down to our coding. Let's check on our footer logo socials line 333. Let's remove this one and let's make it wrap. And let's see view our changes. Oh, so this is it, just the project has been now successfully completed. Please do give us some comments and some likes about my project, and thank you very much.